Doing stucco window replacement is quite challenging if you're used to just doing typical siding or wood. There's a little bit more that goes into it. It's more messy, more cutting and measuring what you have to take out, what you have to put back in. If you're going to re-stucco or you're going to do a trim, obviously you have to cut away the stucco. Like in this example here, you can't get to the old window unless you knock out this old stucco. So I used a masonry saw blade and cut this. I've also done the bull nose hammer and knocked out stucco too on that window. Both methods will work depending on what you're doing. If you're going to re-stucco, you want to use that bull nose and you want to knock that and key it. Basically, you want to have a rough cut so that the re-stuccoing doesn't crack in a straight line. Here, since I'm not going to re-stucco, I cut straight lines because I'm going to use a scab plate or a sacrificial 2.5 by 1, and that's going to go right up against the wood framing, and then I'm going to use a piece of actual window trim that will overlap slightly, and I've got to have this wood to nail into so I don't cause any damage to the window fin when I put that framing in. So we're out with the old window. Here, an old single pane, and we're going to put in a new double pane, high efficiency Marvin window. That's going to be in the second bath. Alright, here's the update. We got the 4x2 window up in there, and I've got the nail fin, and I've got the window fin nailed or screwed in. You decide. I've done the first flashing on the bottom. You always start at the bottom. Next I'll go up the sides, and then finally I'll go across the top. So before you get all this to this point, before you go ahead and nail it in, what I did is I tacked it just in the corners, and then I went inside and I shimmed it between the framing and the window frame to make sure everything was plumb and square and snug. And you're going to want to put a level on it, make sure everything's level. You're also going to want to measure the distance on the inside for drywall. Make sure you have a good enough gap on all sides. You don't want a 1-inch gap on one side and a 1/4-inch gap on the other if you can help it. So try to center your window. Also, this is a fiberglass window, so you're going to want to, all windows you want to do this, especially a fiberglass window or a wood window or a wood window that comes in pieces. But again, all windows, you're going to measure it diagonally from one corner to the next. 54 was what I got, or just under 54. You're going to want to do it the opposite way, diagonal the other way, and if both those measurements are the same, then you're square. If they're not, you need to adjust the top either left or right, or the bottom either left or right to get yourself squared up before you tack it and stick it and frame it. So you definitely want to make sure that you've run the diagonal from corner to corner and corner to corner. Make sure those two measurements are the same with your tape before you nail it or screw it, flash it, and then trim it. Here I've got the wood in the recess there, so I'm just screwing those in.